Flake here with your national briefing. Making news today, the country approaches a major COVID vaccination milestone. WA reveals its reopening roadmap and details of Bert Newton's state funeral revealed. First though, the man accused of raping former Liberal staffer Brittany Higgins has been committed to stand trial. Bruce Lehrmann's case will next be heard in the ACT Supreme Court on November 18. The 26-year-old's facing one charge of sexual assault without consent, which allegedly occurred at Parliament House in March 2019. He's pleaded not guilty. The PM's talking up a big vaccine milestone. Australia's tipped to surpass the 80% double dose mark at some stage today. Scott Morrison says it's fantastic news.
Not only is New South Wales and Victoria and the ACT at 80% double vaccinated for those aged over 16, but the whole country will be past that 80% mark over the course of today, and when we get the figures tomorrow, I'm quite certain that will be confirmed.
He's also urging those in Queensland and WA to roll up their sleeves and get jabbed, with vax rates lagging behind those in other states. Speaking of WA, it isn't tipped to reopen its borders to the rest of the country until late January, possibly February. Its COVID roadmap's been revealed, and restrictions at state lines will only be lifted once a 90% double-dose vaccination mark is reached. The state's Premier, Mark McGowan, says something more definitive will likely be revealed next month.
I want to stress the 90% target threshold could be reached earlier or later. But once we hit 80% and then set the specific date for transition, that date will be locked in.
To Victoria, and a couple of COVID cases have popped up from Flemington, with a patron who attended the Melbourne Cup and a contractor who worked on the Cup and Derby days testing positive, while Moree in northern New South Wales has been removed from Queensland's border bubble as a result of those 3 new infections in Goondiwindi yesterday, with the measures to stay in place for 7 days. Taking a look at cases across the country, Victoria's recorded 1,343 and 10 deaths overnight. New South Wales has recorded 249 new infections and 3 deaths. There's been another death in the ACT and 6 local cases. Queensland's seen no new infections overnight. YouTube star Friendly Geordies and the former Deputy New South Wales Premiers settled a defamation case outside of court. Jordan Shanks has apologised to John Barilaro over videos posted on the online platform, paying court costs of $100,000. And Bert Newton's state funeral's been locked in for next Friday in Melbourne.
Get personalised hair loss treatment in 5 minutes delivered to your door. Clinically proven treatment for men and women. 1 pill taken daily. Thehairypill.com.au.
The WA Premier is confident the 5th Ashes test will still play out in Perth in January, despite the state not planning to reopen its borders until hitting 90% double-dose vaccinations against COVID, which could be in February. Meantime, Cricket Australia's confirmed the test between Australia and Afghanistan to play out in Hobart later this month has been postponed. The Crows and Denny Varnhagen have reached an agreement on what happens next, with the AFLW Premiership player not budging on her refusal to get vaccinated against COVID. The 29-year-old's on Adelaide's inactive list, meaning she remains contracted but won't be playing or training with the group. And there's a bunch of fresh faces at the Cowboys pre-season training, including veteran playmaker Chad Townsend and former NZ speedster Peter Hiku. North Queensland fullback Hamiso Tabuai-Fido says the squad is up for the challenge of 2022.
Probably just gelling and just trusting one another. It will come there. It will come, and yeah, I'm pretty excited for this pre-season and coming into next year.
Download the free Listener app now to get headlines and in-depth coverage of what's making news in our backyard and beyond.
Selling the family home? Miller, Juan and John put you first.
This is SAFM weather.
No chance of rain for the rest of the day, but the same can't be said for tomorrow. We're looking at a 90% chance of showers. We'll be getting up to a top of 22 and a low of 13. For radio, podcasts, music and news, download the free Listener app.